What's going on over here?
The readers, the watchers, the people viewing can actually figure this out. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make our, what we're going to train with today, and surprisingly enough, I didn't bring my Amplify today. So I'm drinking a little bit of stim and not so much the super crazy pump, but I'll still get my dose. I'm actually taking like 3/4 of a scoop. And Matt's gonna take his secret sauce.
What's your secret shit?
I can't do stim, so I gotta keep it kind of G-rated here with the non-stimulant, just solely a pump. It's a cellular.
He loves the pump.
Well, that's why I didn't bring my Amplify, because I figured, what?
Yeah. I got 2 scoops of yours, but I'm not giving you any.
I'm still pumped up from last night. Because last night I only took Amplify, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But I think now, what's funny, Matt, is when I started the new brand,
right,
I did way better on the non-stim than I ever thought I would.
Yeah.
I think now more people are leaning more towards a non-stim pre-workout.
I think that trend's coming on too, yeah. They've always been around, but I think more than ever, people are kind of like, dime a dozen for a stimulant-based one, whereas the non-stimulant's not really so common.
And as you guys know, I mean, a stim pre-workout is actually, it's a little counterproductive because it's constrictive to a certain point. And I always suggest to people, never take a pre-workout every single day with a stim. It's not necessary. So I think it's, we're looking for performance in the workouts, right? So I think the pump is really, really important. That's how I would judge my workout through that, right? I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
You're not going for strength as much now, right?
No, because when I go for strength, all my tendons will tear. I'll rupture something at this point.
In the pump, it's okay to take every day or every workout?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's not non-addictive.
Well, even with the L-citrulline that's in here, like you can take that as like a health step to lower your blood pressure.
Oh.
To increase capillary depth and all that stuff, so your blood's expanded.
Good to know.
Yeah.
But there's a beneficial amount, right? I mean, everyone has different theories. Every person, I know a lot of people that might take a citrulline-based product and not feel it as much, right?
Right.
Some people like glycerol for a pump. I mean,
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of combinations, coconut powder, whatever.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. No, actually, sorry, I put coconut water powder in my Intra like 2 or 3 years ago because I drink coconut water just in general, just the potassium. So, but yeah, Jay's right. I mean, taking a stimulant base like frequently all the time, you're gonna burn out and you're gonna be desensitized to it, so you don't even get an effect. Like back when stims first came out, like there's Ultimate Orange back in like the late 90s. Then NO Explode was huge, but people stopped feeling that after like the first week because they abuse it. So he's right, you want to do it infrequently and maybe even cycle between non-stim and stim.
But I think, listen, 15 minutes prior, usually take it. A lot of people, he may drink on that as an intra-workout too. I mean, supplements should be taken around the training. That's when you're going to get the most benefit, right? So a lot of people would they ask me like benefit of branched chains or essential aminos, right? Some people like intra, some people like following. I mean, if you're going to drink your protein after, there's that always like, okay, what do I take the amino complex, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've drank a lot during and I've had it after, depending on how much protein I'm going to drink after or whatnot. We mentioned that this morning in this morning's video.
Yeah, post-workout.
Yeah. You an intra-workout drinker? Or?
I wasn't always, but I had to get used to it because a lot of people, they can't tolerate volume inside their stomach besides water. Because in intro, you can get carried away with like carbohydrates plus electrolytes added plus creatine and all that stuff. So I personally had to get used to it, but I do find a difference as far as like my recovery. But a lot of people just bloat and they just can't do it.
10 years ago, intra training stuff was non-existent.
Very scarce, right? Because Milos came out with it in 07.
And I was drinking like Gatorade when I was training for Olympias during my training, and I was feeling good doing that. And I was like, man, I actually wasn't taking a stim pre-workout. I was using a product called Pump Tech, which was Muscle Tech, So it was more arginine.
Red pills.
You would take a bunch of them, so it was like 7 pills at a time. And it's just amazing how much things have transpired now. We went from pre-workouts with huge scoops to now, downsized scoops, whatever. It goes back and forth depending on how concentrated they are, right?
Yeah, with yours, you can you shoot it and chase it, really, how small it is. Yeah, Intra kind of surfaced around 07 with Milos and his like whole theory. And then I tried it first in 2008, I believe, with like a different types of glucose polymers. I think it was like maybe a potato starch, kind of like a carbolin. But yeah, it took a while, but then I was kind of hooked on it, just because like the pump and cosmetic effect that I saw in recovery. So, but not everyone can do it.
I used Gen R8. Do you remember that?
That was the best.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because before Gen R8, Anthony Almada bought it.
Yeah.
It was through Nutrex, and then after Nutrex, I think Art Atwood bought it.
Yes.
And then it got switched over to Anthony. Then Atwood went to Carbolin. So, but yeah, I mean, the Vitargo is good, except you have to like literally blend it, or else it'll clump.
Yeah,
It's funny because when I launched Alpha Helix, if you remember my workout product, I did a partnership with Anthony.
Oh, wow.
I did that. I used it in their Vitargo.
See, I didn't know the Alpha Helix had like actual ingredients yet. I thought it was just like a logo.
No, we launched it was like an intra-workout drink like that, but it was expensive to make.
Of course, yeah.
It was very expensive, and it was, it's still one of those things that people were scared of carbs, right? We were during that carb craze where people are like, oh my goodness, I can't take carbs. They don't understand that in training, like you're going to burn through a lot of that stuff.
I agree. Yeah, that's tough with like the carb. Because if you put the carbs within your intro, you kind of blacklist yourself from a whole audience. So like I try to keep it without carbs, so it's your choice. But a lot of people are like, why don't you have Cyclic, dextrin, or something like that? It's like, well, I'm going to negate a whole audience of dieters or pre-contest bodybuilders.
I know.
But I can just keep it like freestyle, and you can just add to it.
Yeah.
He's right. But the Vitargo is very expensive too.
But it sucks because like there's products that I'm sure you and I both can agree like these are so beneficial when we're trying to get our biggest, and obviously you're still competitive, but it's like, man, like it's just the cost to make these products, and also the audience is very limited to, not the average person wants to go in the gym and feel that crazy like, oh, I need extra calories or fullness or whatever. Like most people aren't getting pumped up in the mirrors and watching their muscles. They just want to have a workout that they actually feel and they can get most benefit from. Right?
True. Yeah. No, it's hard to get your audience to go on board with like high quality. You know what I mean? Like I'm having that problem right now. Like we have a post-workout. I talked to Dave last episode, but unfortunately it's just not moving, and it's the most awesome product. Yeah. Our cost is so high that retail has to be higher. Really, it's not even that high for what the cost is, but it's just not moving. And like I have a lot of loyal customers who are like, oh my god, is that discontinued? Like, that's the best product. I'm like, I'm sorry guys, it's just not. You didn't tell enough friends. Like,
make sure you post that product up on the on the video.
It's already gone.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, so it's discontinued, so you don't have any units left.
He's gonna reformulate, right?
I'm gonna try to reformulate it.
You don't have any units left that these people can check out?
There might be on Amazon, but not on our actual base.
So you guys missed it. You missed it.
Too bad.
Yeah, I mean it was like 10 grams of German Creapure. It was D-ribose by Bioenergy. It was Cyclic dextrin. It was 4-hydroxyisoleucine, which is a fenugreek extract for insulin. It was like the most awesome patented ingredients, but people just didn't. I think post-workout's kind of out of style too. Like they don't understand like the post-workout window. They kind of make fun of it now, but really it's legit. Like after your workout,
We just talked about this morning.
Just did a
it's
whole
so
video
legit.
This morning,
Yeah, what's trendy is intra and pre, but it's like post-workout is still like really beneficial because after your workout, your muscles are seriously so primed to accept everything that it's like, I don't know why it's out of style. They need to be.
You just gotta pick the right thing to take in. That's all. And what works for someone's body, it's not always the same for everyone. As far as what kind of carbohydrates or protein or. We mentioned protein powders versus low-fat protein,
Right.
Not suggested to eat steak right after your workout, right? High-fat foods.
Well, I mean, you used to have Mountain Dew probably with yourself.
I had Coca-Cola.
Right? Coca-Cola with your protein.
I think Mountain Dew is the healthier soda because they say clearer sodas are better.
Well, there's that yellow 5 in Mountain Dew, which supposedly reduces your sperm count. Right?
Okay.
Oh my god.
But it's supposedly the highest sugar
Soda.
there is, right?
Yeah.
It
Definitely.
tastes damn good, that's all. But people used to laugh, man. I was training for Olympia and I'd walk out of the gym with a can of Coke.
Jealous.
I would go to train at the Mission Viejo Crunch Fitness, and I would put my Coca-Cola on the counter in the back because there would be no one in the gym really. And then when people saw me leaving, I'd be drinking my soda. Because I mentioned I drank the carb first, which people say drink the protein first, and then have the carbs 15 minutes later. It's a theory, right? I always mix the two together often. Shoot, I used to do what you're doing with his puffs, right? I would mix the soda with protein powder. I would drink Coca-Cola with vanilla protein, and I'd mix it in a bowl, and I would eat it with chunks of ice. I had an ice crusher machine at my house, and I would pretend that was like the cereal. And that's
there you go.
Carbonated too. It's really funny. That's hardcore.
He
man.
laughs when I eat you poofs.
My poofs.
yeah. I saw
They're,
poofs.
they're not doing. They're doing pretty good.
He's done 2 meals since last night
Cereal?
of puffs at my house.
It's different, man. It just came.
Well, I'm glad you're actually using them and you like it.
Yeah,
It's good to hear.
it's awesome.
And I said, why are you eating puffs two out of the meals that you've eaten here? He said, because it's easy.
It's easy.
And you said you're on a liquid diet right now, so.
My appetite goes to crap after a certain time period. I just can't keep piling in. So like I'll just do like waxy maize with whey isolate. Do like 200 carb shakes. Just pound them down just to get my carbs up. But,
Seems to be working.
yeah, and then like towards the evening I'll take like something to stimulate my appetite, and then I'll have like a couple real food meals. So it's a balance, man. But I mean, especially at the like Arnold, I had to live on shakes because like my adrenaline's going. I have anxiety. I can't.
Yeah.
My appetite sucks. Off season, pre-contest, I'm starving no matter what. So I'll eat.
Yeah.
But it's for me personally. I mean, Jay's like a machine. I bet you always could eat.
Yeah, but you know, no, I was never, you can ask him after training, I would never be hungry, but did we have a similar, like, I was on a liquid diet, you know, when I competed at the 01 Olympia, you know, people say you can't diet on shakes, right?
Everyone has certain things.
I drank 4 out of my 6 protein meals.
Wow.
I drank them with protein.
Nice. Same with me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did that for my 2014 USA prep.
Wow.
The first half was because my carbs were so high, I had to drink them.
Yeah.
I was too disgusted with food at first, but as I got hungrier and hungrier and leaner, I was able to eat all food.
Okay.
But for the first half of my prep, like Jay, I was doing half shakes. I was doing 800 grams of carbs to diet on.
Jesus. Wow.
Because back then my metabolism was just like
Racing.
on fire.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, if I didn't look great at that show, I wouldn't probably talk about it, and people wouldn't give a shit, right? But
One of your best ever.
I think, you know, so I mean, that worked for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I dieted for 20 weeks. The first 10 weeks I did mostly food, and then I switched over because same thing, my carbs were at 1,000 a day, even on a contest diet. So I had to drink. There's no way I was going to take in that much protein for, you know, 6 or 7, I think it was on 6 meals a day then. But I mean, I would drink, you know, 75 grams worth of protein, of whey protein. And back then it was only like, there wasn't even isolate protein back then, I don't think.
Like a blend of
It was just a blend, yeah.
It was Pro M3 back then. You were with
Well, no,
ISS.
it actually, I was using whey. I was using
okay.
the ISS whey back then.
Okay.
You know what? People don't believe you drink protein shakes as far as like professionals. Ronnie did the same damn thing. Like his morning shake was like 100 grams of like the ABB, like 100 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know who made up that theory that like you can't diet with it or you can't get dry with it. I think Dorian would even have it, or
Yeah, you would.
to the show.
I mean, listen, I ate candy corn and Boston baked beans for my post-workout.
Boston baked.
Yep, I did it all.
What's Boston baked bean?
It's like a, it's like a red can. It's like a candy. It's
Oh, okay.
like peanuts in the middle. You know? I did everything, but I ate candy corn. That's like the whole thing. A lot of theories.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, it's true. No, same thing with like that same prep in 14. Like I was doing like unorthodox things,
Yes.
like certain type of yogurts that were artificial sweetener, and I purposely wanted to hold water while I was low carb. So I had things like the yogurts. I had different types of sauces and just different things that like weren't traditional, like cottage cheese. Because I felt like if I could look good and lean and dry on that, once I pull it, I'm only gonna look better.
Okay.
And plus you're on low carbs at that point anyway, so it's like you kind of want to hold water for your joint integrity and all that stuff. So like, you know, when people are like, oh my God, you can't have yogurt or you can't have cottage cheese. And one of my best looks in 2013, I was a week out, we were at a wedding out of town, and I literally had like a 4-pound tub of cottage cheese to 2% and cheddar cheese rice cakes. All I had. Looked the best I ever did. 1 week out eating that, and then the show was a week later.
Wow.
So I mean, most people would be like, that's just impossible. Dairy to make your skin thick, or my skin was paper thin.
Well, he says all the time, if people saw what he ate for the 2001 Olympia, they would never
You know
believe
what's funny though? I bet he tried to duplicate this the next go around. He's like, yeah, right, you know, and it never works the same. You know, I wish we could just, if we found that one textbook, like whole map to the show, and if we knew it worked, if we could just follow that every time and be perfect every time, but it's so impossible to do that, you know?
True, man.
But I'm gonna ask you a question because I know we talked about this when we did an appearance one time. What about I'm not gonna even mention, but you were eating some bars every night before you went to bed.
Yeah.
Do you still eat bars or not necessarily?
Do I now, or did I after
now?
that? No. I haven't really done like a true prep since 2014 whenever I quit. I did a
I
couple.
thought you were still competing.
I did a couple drop-in shows just on my normal, like just regular, like
Last
being
year.
me. Yeah, just like being lean year-round. I was just dropping into a couple of state shows to see if I could do well
Okay.
on minimal ammo. and I was able to win those. But
didn't you tell me didn't you go in classic or something? No, I was gonna say I thought you
very unclassic physique.
No, I thought you were down in weight and you did classic at one point.
No, I was down in weight. I just stayed on my TRT and literally like just dieted on like as best as I could on cardio and diet, and went and do a couple shows like the Emerald Cup, Tournament of Champions. I won, yeah. And I was literally on my TRT and I added like one thing like 2 weeks out. And honestly, Jay, though, it was so much different than before because now I'm on blood pressure meds. I can't take any stimulants. My hormones were very restricted, so I had to do a lot of cardio, very low carb. It wasn't like I was lenient before. In 2014, where I could have the yogurts and the 800 grams of carbs.
It's a big change.
So yeah, I kind of tested myself to see like, hey, am I still good enough on minimal to win these state shows without gung-ho? And then, yeah, I was. And then now I'm going to try to reapproach it, maybe up the ante a little bit next year.
Are you going to get it back on stage?
I'm going to try to compete at a national level probably next year. I tore my groin last year, so I'm just getting over that.
Doing what?
Adductor machine like stacked, which I was used to, but I traveled that day, maybe I wasn't hydrated.
What happened?
It's the worst injury because it doesn't heal. There's no blood flow there. It's terrible.
So it affected your squatting and stuff like that?
I haven't squatted or done anything for like 8 or 9 months.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's a different ball game whenever I had to like do the minimal with no stims, no none of that fancy stuff. But as long as health's good, I'll pick up everything and do everything normal next year. Possible.
That's the plan.
But
documented.
Right. That's right. We got you on tape. You have to do it. You guys ready to hit it?
Go ahead and hit it.
All right. Shoulders today.